Welcome to Keeping the Nostalgia Alive show. I am your host, Billy Powell. You can hear all of our programs on Keeping the Nostalgia Alive. That's all one word, keepingthenostalgiaalive.podbean.com. Our guest today is Joe Carney, who has a podcast of his own. As you can see him right there, and those of you who are listening to the audio version, just have an imagination. There we go. See him laughing. Now you have an imagination on who that is. So my hair looks a little bit crazy today because the AC is out in the house. It's not getting
Oh
fixed till
no.
tomorrow. So I do not have a lot of light on so that you can see the sweat rolling down the side of my face. Um, so,
Ain't
but
that the
but
way?
please go to keepingthenostalgialive.podbean.com and you can hear. I think this is actually 198 or 199. Normally, my forte is basketball from the state of Indiana, but we've kind of branched out a little bit with music and with entertainment. And Joe and I have been doing a couple shows here on our favorites in sports and in comedy and in movies. And that's what we're going to do today. But first of all, happy Father's Day, Joe.
Thank you, sir. How was your Father's Day besides sweaty?
Well, sweaty, but there's some really thick steaks that are getting ready to be put on the grill downstairs. So after this, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy myself. And nobody has crinkle fries, man. So
What?
when my wife said, "You want what?" I said, "Crinkle fries."
Yeah.
So we got a bag of crinkle fries out of the frozen section at the grocery store, and I'm going to enjoy. But happy Father's Day. Do you have a tribute you want to do there, Joe? How many? By the way, how many? Do you have kids?
Yeah, I've got two kids, a 16-year-old son, 13-year-old daughter.
Oh, Lord have mercy, man. Man, your hands are full. Mine, I have two. Mine is will turn 21. My daughter, Taylor, will turn 21 tomorrow, and my son Andy, who just graduated from high school last week, on
Oh, wow.
July 2nd, will turn 18.
Outstanding. I saw the photos. Looks like you guys had fun.
Yes, thank goodness there was a night. Because it's up in the 90s here in Houston.
Uh,
there's 5 seasons here. There's not four. There's spring. No. There's winter, spring, summer, hell, and fall.
80s. Gotcha.
Yes.
Black.
Yeah. So
I
go
did.
ahead. Go ahead and do a little tribute there. What? And I'd like to do one also.
It's a sports one. My dad would take me and my brother. My dad's name's Joe as well, and he would take me and my brother Ben to the Anderson Indian basketball games at the Wigwam that would seat 8,000 every Friday night. So the biggest game I remember that Dad took us to, we were not wealthy. So if we got into the game, there's two sections on the high end called XX and YY, and XX was in the southeast corner of the gym. And in '82, your fellow IU star, Steve Alford, that time of the Newcastle Trojans, gets fouled with 0 seconds in the fourth quarter. This is the best game I saw live at the Wigwam. And he was leading the nation at the time in free throws made. And he bricked both free throws, and the Indians won 82-81, and that place went into pandemonium. It was bananas.
Was this 1983?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe his senior year.
Yep. Because those two free throws he missed, he decided to take it out on my team, and I was even sitting on the bench at Hinkle Fieldhouse, and he went 25 for 25 from the line and put 57 points up on the scoreboard and beat us out of the semi-state. So, thanks, Joe.
Anytime.
Speaking of poor, we were poorer than dirt too. So, it was, but I think that's probably why I got into the game of basketball and sports at Broad Ripple High School because, it gave me something to do and something to work towards. So, but that's a great memory.
Yeah, fun
Yeah.
times. I saw so many great games there. The sectional was great. The region, Anderson would host the sectional and the regional. So many great teams went through there. Great memories through the golden age of basketball, high school basketball.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with cable and with everything that's going on in AAU basketball, Indiana high school basketball will never be back to the way that it was in the golden age. The golden age was, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. But the
Right.
golden age to me, my golden age of high school basketball was in the late 70s and, of course, in the 80s. But that's just my
Yeah,
opinion on it and my little switch.
I agree. That's what it was for me. I mean, so it was a fantastic time.
Well, mine was I didn't really have a great relationship with my father, but he married, he remarried. My mom had passed away, and the lady that he remarried was Judy, and her stepfather was I considered my grandfather. But I made a comment today on social media that he really wasn't my grandfather, but I wanted him to be my dad. He was father. Was
Sure,
very father like,
sure.
and I knew him as my grandfather. I don't know if he, and a son of his came out and said that Grandpa Rittman, embraced me as a grandson. So that was really neat to kind of hear. But of course, Bill Smith, the head basketball coach at Broad Ripple, and Gene Ring, who was a assistant coach under Branch McCracken and played under Branch McCracken at Indiana University,
Yeah.
and of course my Uncle Fred. But Father's Day is great.
Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
So we talked a little bit about basketball there and our fathers, but today we're going to talk about movies.
Yes,
Movies,
yes.
what we decided to do, we're going to do the top 20 movies, or
Well, I'm so sorry I've been away for a while, but last time we spoke, you wanted to do top 10 comedies and top 10 of all time, but that's up to you.
no, no, no. That list is perfectly fine. I have yeah. You've thrown me a couple curveballs in the past couple interviews. I got one to throw you today.
Okay.
Before we kind of get started, have you ever walked out on a movie?
Yes, of
Which one?
course. Oh, I did it recently, but I'm drawing. It was something like Bad Kids or something. The real recent movie. It was, and they said, "Oh man, this is so well written. You'll love it." It was straight garbage.
Okay, so there's only one other person in the theater here in Houston, Texas, and I was sitting there. I don't know why I was by myself. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that guy was running in between the sheets, and I said, "Hell with this!" I had to get up and get
Oh, I don't blame you at all. That
out.
I saw the scene with the what was he hitting her with? I saw the scene with the bucket, and he was hitting this chick with like a wrench or something. I'm like, done. I'm out.
Is there a movie that you were so upset about and you wished I need my money back?
Oh, that's easy. That's super easy. I'm a comic book guy. When I saw Batman and Robin with Clooney and with George Clooney, I said, "Yo, I want my money back. This is lame-o. No good." I was hot.
Ishtar.
Yeah, I knew not to see that.
I'm still waiting for my check back from Ishtar.
Yeah.
But it's become like a cult classic for people to watch. But no, it's not for me.
No, no, thank you.
No. So let's go ahead and start off on your list there. What you got there?
Sure. Top 10 comedy movies. My bonus pick is your favorite, Steve Martin, The Jerk.
Ooh, not bad, not bad. I will combat that with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, love that movie.
Yeah.
Love that movie. Number 10 is for everyone who's ever worked in a cubicle, Office Space, written by the guy who did Beavis and Butthead.
Why does it say paper jam when there is no paper?
Quite.
Hey, Peter. How's it going? Yeah, I'm going to need for you to work next Saturday. That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, you going to look like you got a case of the Mondays.
Oh man,
That's a great movie, man. I didn't. It's hard to kind of do this list. I was asking my wife. I said, and I was thinking of it this way. Have you ever thought a movie was really good because of the company that you had going to the movie, or the times that you were having at that particular time in life?
definitely.
Mike,
Without a doubt.
I can't put Prize Fighter up there, which was with Tim Conway and Don Knotts, but I went with my cousins. I rarely went to movies with my cousins, but I remember that movie. And
Sure.
then there's a lot of movies too that I will watch today. And when I watched them when I was young, I was like, "Oh, that was a great movie." And you talked about it the rest of the day. And now you watch it and you're like, "Man, that really sucked."
Right, that was garbage. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
Because I mean,
go ahead.
okay, I'll move along. A buddy of mine who I work with said this is his number one. Chevy Chase in Caddyshack and Rodney Dangerfield. You can't go wrong with that.
No, you can't. And it's interesting that you bring that up because I caddied my junior year. Of course, this was
Mhm.
5 years after the movie. But I slapped the cassette into my cassette player and would listen to it on my way to caddy, which was awful, by the way.
I'll bet
Man,
that quality.
what was it? Dave Mason Buick? Was that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
that
sure.
Dave
Yeah,
Mason? I was a caddy for him, but he did give me $20. So, but no, great movie, great movie. Happy Gilmore.
love that movie.
And like I was saying to you earlier too, it's that the times that you're going through. I think the movie relates to you in that way and stays with you. Some of these
Yeah.
may have been awful movies if you rewatch them, but because of what you were either going through or if you needed a real good laugh, because Happy Gilmore is just slapstick,
Oh, without a
you
doubt.
know.
Yeah. Um, I really need this on Blu-ray, but I don't have it. Um, so Fraternity Life and The Grocery Store, Animal House.
Oh, nice, nice. Lost John Belushi way too young,
Oh my
way
gosh,
too
he's
young.
fantastic.
There's sometimes where I'll sit back and I'll think about being 53 years old and how much more time I got than John Belushi, and
Yeah.
how much more time he could have, or how much greatness he could have done. Drugs are a terrible thing.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Um, this is the first. Well, I'm sure there's some before this, but this is the first one that I remember. My first parody movie was Airplane with Jabbar.
You drag Bill Walton through the lane, right? Surely you can't be serious. I am
Yeah,
serious, and please don't call me Shirley.
I said this at work, and my boss about had a hemorrhage. I said, "Man, I love it when June Cleaver says I can speak jive." She found out a hemorrhage. Joe.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh man, it's a classic.
Growing up as an 80s kid, you love soundtracks. And, I still remember being at that movie. And me and a friend of mine, Paul Fry, we were walking, we waited till the very end because we didn't have anything else to do. We didn't have any jobs. We are getting ready to go off to college.
Hmm.
And we felt like Matthew Broderick was talking to us when he said, "Hey, what are you guys still doing here? Leave, leave, go." And
Yeah,
that was one of the first movies to really start that kind of, you've got to stay through the whole movie.
yeah.
Because like nowadays, every movie you're waiting for Nick Fury to come in and recruit you to the Avengers.
Which is a good thing.
Yes, it is, but you're disappointed sometimes at the end of the movie where you're like, "Well, that's 10 minutes I wasted. I could have gotten home and done some other stuff." Okay, what else you got?
uh, man, this is all day. Chicago classic, The Blues Brothers, with every imaginable musician in there.
Yes, yes, yes. Great music, great music, great movie. Um, Mine is Survivors.
Yeah,
It's a movie with Jerry Reed and Walter Matthau, and
yeah.
it's probably like once I said what I said earlier. It's probably because we snuck into it. It was rated R.
Okay.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So that memory
yeah.
sticks with me, and I enjoyed the movie. It was funny. Robin Williams was sneaking up on somebody, and they put a smoking cigarette in the tree bark. And Robin Williams was upset and says, "What in Robin Williams style says, what kind of man gives cigarettes to trees?" And that made me laugh.
Sure. My next one is my dad got me into my first rated R movie, and this was Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy,
Oh,
'84.
you know what? I'd have to agree with you on that pick. That is great. That's awesome. Great soundtrack.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Great soundtrack.
Bob Seger. Yep.
Yes. What number are you on?
5.
5. So let me see what I got here. This is going to really kind of blow you away. Like I said, it's
Okay.
going to the movie. My dad would take us to the drive-in theater,
Mhm.
Westlake Drive-In. But times he'd be like selfish about it, and he'd want to go see his movies.
Right.
I
Sure.
remember going to see Jungle Book as a kid, but then I remember seeing Paul Williams, and it was called. Let's see, I have it written down here. The Phantom of the Paradise.
Never heard of it.
I think it was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't funny. But I
However.
remember it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and once you do these things, with me, with keeping the nostalgia alive, once you do these things, you have to go back and watch it
Right.
to see why I was so enthralled with it. And it was
Right.
absolutely horrible. I think it only did well in Paris and in Munich.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. My next one. This is when the main star went supernova, trading places with Eddie Murphy.
Oh man, great movie. Eddie Murphy. Still today, I just think he doesn't get the right scripts or
No,
parts. You
well,
know.
Shrek maybe.
Oh yes, yeah. And then, what do you do when you're making that kind of money? There's not really a lot of incentive. It's kind of like professional athletes. It's not, there's not a lot of incentive to do other things if you're making, like, we haven't heard of Mike Myers. Of course, he did that, was a Love Guru, which was a flop, but
Mm-hmm.
he's probably still home counting his cash.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
I looked up this movie on Amazon recently, and I was blown away. Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, Silver Streak. It was $70 on DVD.
Wow. But did you enjoy that movie?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Silver Streak. Yeah.
Do you remember Critical Condition?
Yes.
How about Moving?
I didn't see that.
Oh, you got to see that one. That's a classic one. I don't know if that's available out there on any platform, but
yeah, I love Richard Pryor. I'm a Richard Pryor guy.
I'm going to put this in the comedy realm, but it's also a Christmas movie, but Christmas Vacation. I mean, it's something that we have on the DVR. I had it on DVD. I had it on VHS, and it's just something. Even if it's not holiday season, it's something you plop in. And of course, Chevy Chase's boss is kind of like my boss now. We get the Fruit of the Month Club or Jelly of the Month Club rather than a real bonus.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Number 2, the same guys, Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor. However, he was under the use of substances at the time for Pryor. Stir crazy.
Ooh.
That whole movie, he was under the influence.
Very interesting. What's the movie with both of them? He was blind and he was deaf. See no evil, hear no evil.
Hear no evil. Yes, correct.
That was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
Oh, so what you got is number 1?
Well, see, I didn't want to do 3 movies from the same director, but I could easily do that with Mel Brooks, with History of the World Part 1 and Young Frankenstein, but I didn't do that in my list. I could easily do it, though. At number 1, of course, is Blazing Saddles, which you could never make again.
Very true, very true. And actually, what's funny about that is someone had put on social media that they had decided to edit that movie, and it was going to be shown. It was going to be shown on Sunday night after editing, Sunday night between 8:05 and 8:07.
Yeah, precisely. I didn't get a rump out of that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
So my number 1 comedy of all time is my name is H.I. McDonough, but you can call me Hi. Raising Arizona.
Oh.
There
Fantastic
is
movie.
so many lines in that, but once again,
Yeah.
it's with who I went with. The situation I was going about, but there were some great lines in there. They're just, and sometimes when we're trying to explain to somebody how much you enjoy a movie, they have to actually watch it for you to understand when you're rolling out the lines.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
definitely. So my top 10 of all time. We were talking about Robin Williams in detail last time, and I found the film, and it got slammed by the critics, but I really love this movie. It's Robin Williams and Annabelle Sciorra, and it's called What Dreams May Come.
Yes, and I have never been able to get through like the 15 minutes of it because I watch it at a wrong time when it's time to go to bed or I fall asleep. So I need to take some time and go through that thoroughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts slow, but once it gets going, it's worth your investment. And that's my bonus pick.
The Breakfast Club is my bonus pick.
Great movie.
I mean, I can watch it over and over and over. I feel like I have it memorized at times, but I don't. So I'm still listening closely when I watch it again. Another thing with John Hughes too, he had great soundtracks.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, he did. Number 10 for me, I did genres. So that's okay. How I built my list. And I want to say that one of my professors at Ball State taught a class called Film Genres, and his name's Wes Gehring. And we watched Duck Soup with the Marx Brothers, Educating Rita, And I think we might have watched the original Manchurian Candidate with Frank Sinatra. And that, if you haven't seen that, that's insane. My number 10 pick is my romantic comedy, When Harry Met Sally, and she wants to eat what she's having.
Yes, very good movie. And once again, keeping the nostalgia alive. I mean, we've got a couple pretty good actors and actresses that was in that are no longer with us. With
Yeah.
the guy, I can't remember the two names, but of course, she played Princess Leia. What's her name? Come on, help me out.
Carrie Fisher.
Yes, yes. So, at number 10 for me would be Rudy.
Great movie.
Yep. It's one of those things that if you want to get a little chill, or if you want to bring a tear to your eye and you're not feeling really bad, it just does. It's a great movie. Great movie.
And we can do sports movies. I love sports
Oh
movies.
yeah,
That's a really great
you
sports
can
movie.
separate that for that.
Yeah, definitely. Number 9, my action movie was my favorite Bond, Roger Moore, Live and Let Die.
Very nice. I'm not a James Bond movie. Now I will tell you a quick story about my mom was a little bit on the religious side, and she always wanted to know what movies we were going to. And one day she said, "Where are you and Paul going today?" I said, "We're going to go to Glendale and watch a James Bond movie." Well, what's the name of the movie, Mom? What's the name of the movie, Billy? It's a James Bond. It's PG, okay? It's PG. It's all good. I need to know the name of the movie. Okay, Mom. Octopussy.
Yeah, right.
Okay, you happy now? You happy? It's rated PG. Let me pull the newspaper out. Let me show it to you. See? All right. I'll see you later.
Octocats.
Yeah, horrible movie, by the way. One of his worst.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
So, up next for me, okay, one of my favorite dramas that was Academy Award winner, Robin Williams was in it, and so was Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. A trivia question, since we're doing this about that. What is the only actor/actress to never lose money on a movie?
Harrison Ford.
Never lost money on a movie.
Right.
Nope. Elvis Presley.
Okay. I believe that.
Harrison Ford's had some, Mosquito Coast, wasn't,
Yeah, that's true.
There's a few that, Affair of the Heart, where there was a plane accident. Matter of fact, I need to put that underneath Ishtar because I need my money back for that. So, there's a lot of people that have made a lot more money at the box office, but no one has ever. I mean, Elvis Presley never lost $1 at the movie theater.
Well,
yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
So that being said, I love the movie Charo. It's the only movie Elvis Presley made that he didn't sing in, and I love to watch it. It's a favorite Western of mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't pick one comic book movie, so I kind of separated it out. The original Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson was the Joker.
I agree with that. And after I got out of the theater, I was so pumped about seeing that. I went and bought the soundtrack, which I think most of the songs were done by Prince.
Yeah.
But I did. But now when Christian Bale came and kind of redid it with that little bit darker side,
yeah.
Once again, you go back to going, wow, that first one wasn't very good. But of course, with time allegedly, you have your failures and you have your successes, and over time they became better at writing a script for that. But I agree with that.
Yeah, I love Christian Bale. Don't get me wrong. There. Yeah.
So. Forrest Gump.
You can't go wrong with that movie.
No, there's some. Yeah.
When you look at '94, you have Forrest Gump, you got Little Women, and you got Pulp Fiction that summer. I'm like, wow.
Oh, Pulp Fiction, man! I forgot totally about that.
Yeah.
And what? It was a shock. It was a shocker movie.
Right. Yes, it was an underdog without a doubt.
Yes, it was.
My favorite comic book movie is the original Avengers.
Okay. Now, are you a Western fan at all?
Yes.
1981's The Lone Ranger.
I haven't seen it.
with
I
Clinton,
love the TV show. Loved the
with
TV
Michael
show.
Horse
Watched it
and
every day.
with
Watched it every day.
Michael Horse and Clinton Kingsbury, I think is his name. And what channel did you watch that on, Joe?
Um, Local TV, WHMB out of
40.
Noblesville, which was
Yes.
Indianapolis.
Yeah. Channel
Yeah,
40. They had some pretty good shows that we would watch after school.
yeah,
And of course,
exactly.
we had to go to UHF, didn't we?
Of course.
Yeah.
For the 5 channels. um, I love mental health dramas. Love them. And Jennifer Lawrence won an Oscar for Best Actress for this. And Bradley Cooper was in it. And Robert De Niro was in it. And Chris Tucker, Silver Linings Playbook.
Very interesting. I saw that movie and I thought that was very good. That's really kind of maybe a platform that really pushed Bradley Cooper out a little bit more into the spotlight. He does good stuff. I enjoy him. He plays a mean air guitar too, by the way.
Yes, and the Eagles storyline was pretty
Yeah.
cool too,
Yeah.
with De Niro, where he has to flip the
Yes.
remotes around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was a history major at Indiana State, and you know,
Oh, okay.
I don't. It's kind of a train wreck to watch it because it's probably so close to the truth of what happens in war, but it's Platoon.
Wow, I saw that movie once, and that was enough.
Exactly. You know, if it's something that's on and I come across it, I may stop, but it's so true probably to what actually happened. And war aggravates me to talk about. I mean, we're
Me
not
too.
here. We're not here to talk about war or what aggravates us, but it's just such a dumb thing to do. But
Without a
it's
doubt.
but a great movie, and also to give everybody an idea of what Vietnam was like and what war was like.
Yeah, I agree. Great movie. My number one thriller. I'm a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan. Part of this was filmed in Indiana, and it had Cary Grant in it, North by Northwest.
Okay. Yes. And where was that? Part of that you say was filmed in Indiana?
There's a scene where Cary Grant's being chased by an airplane
Okay.
in a cornfield, and I think
Yeah.
that's the Indiana scene.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting how we're going here because we're bouncing kind of back and forth. And, you know, we're both Indiana homers.
Yes.
So, Christmas Story.
Oh, that's my favorite Christmas movie of all time.
I mean, I'm
hands
sorry.
down.
And you know what's funny is when I was a kid and that movie came out, who in the hell wants to go see that? That looks stupid. And you know, once again, time has been very pleasant to this movie, and now it's just you know once again, but you know it was great though, and plus being an Indiana homer and it being filmed, I think up in northern Indiana for a little while,
Right.
it was just a fantastic film, and I enjoy watching it every day, every holiday season.
Yeah, and then Dad was a Bears fan. So,
Yes, yeah. And also there was a Lone Ranger question in there too. Remember?
Yeah, right.
You know, I
Yes.
think what was the name of the Lone Ranger? Tonto's horse or cousin or something like that. But great movie, great movie.
My number one comedy is a repeat here. You can't Blazing Saddles. Nobody. I watched that with a buddy of mine who's 25. He didn't get one joke.
You know, it was probably that time period. You know,
I agree. Yeah.
So, but great movie, great, brilliant mind. And what was it? Heidi Lamar or Hedy Lamar?
Yes. Which is who played him?
He also played
Harvey Korman.
Yeah, he also played.
him.
What was the name of the little recurring role on the Flintstones? The Great Gazoo.
Right. I don't know who played that. But yeah.
Harvey Korman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Harvey Korman played that, but Harvey Korman, what a versatile actor. And unfortunately, you know, it's sad to talk about some of these guys because you know they've passed on. So
yeah, fantastic actor.
What you got there next?
I've got a trivia question about this after I do my last one.
Okay.
Francis Ford Coppola with Marlon Brando, De Niro, and Pacino, The Godfather.
Yeah, what would they put? Cotton in his mouth?
Yes.
Okay, I could do that or whatever. It did that. And that's your number one movie?
Number 2.
It's number 2. You know, I never got into the only times that you'll hear the name of the Godfather movies come out of my mouth is when I'm at work and there's about 7 hours left of the day, and I said, if you sat down and you watched all the Godfathers in a row, by the time they're over, it'd be time to go home.
If you have if you're a fan of this movie and go buy the Blu-ray because there's an extra hour with Robert Duvall that was never seen in the theater.
Didn't you just hear me say I wasn't a fan of The Godfather?
That's what I heard. I just kind of ignored it.
You know what's interesting with you saying that? Of course, my movies are Star Wars. I can't really pinpoint any particular one, but
Yeah,
of course it's the first. The original first three that came out.
yeah,
A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. I
right.
still they still sucker me in watching these other movies
Yes.
because it's just something that we grew up as with kids as kids. But any of those movies, kind of like you with the, of course, I would assume that the Godfather Part 3 isn't probably your favorite of the trilogy.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so my number one is your number one, Star Wars: A New Hope, right? So, where did you see your movie? And I've got a couple trivia questions if you know them. Go ahead.
Okay, that's a good question. Eastgate on the
Yes.
on the east side of Indianapolis, and oh my gosh, and I can remember it. I remember the smell of the popcorn,
Yeah.
and of course, after that movie, any kind of money I would get or allowance I would get, and I would go to the store, and my dad would ask me, "What two are you getting?" I said, "Well, I'm going to get two Darth Vaders." He said, "Why two?" So one to open and play with when I get home, and the other to put back and sell later on in life, so I'll have some money. And he
Yep.
looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are worth fat cash.
Yes. Yes. Oh my
Those are worth
gosh. All
fat
those.
cash.
That's so overwhelming. That's an addiction if you got into the collecting of that.
No, no doubt.
Yeah.
The that's there's two part. One's not really a trivia question. The Eastwood Way film. Take a guess how many weeks straight. Well, it is a trivia question. Take a guess how many weeks straight Star Wars ran at Eastwood.
I would say at the least a year.
54 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the second part is trivia as well, but it's more like a statement. George Lucas, George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola, they went to USC Film School, and 20th Century Fox thought Star Wars was going to be a flop. So what happened is Lucas did the whole movie and had it all done and ready to be edited, but he almost had a heart attack. Coppola, who just got done making money off The Godfather, gave him the money to edit the movie to put it in the theater.
Wow. Wow.
And that's on. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That's on the Blu-ray box set in the bonus disc
Very nice.
for Star Wars.
With the Star Wars trilogy and with all their movies, there were times when I was a kid after watching Star Wars that I would think, this could possibly happen.
Right.
And you come back to life, and I guess I'm using my imagination, but
which is good.
yeah.
What's your worst movie and your worst character
in Star Wars?
Yes.
Well, I'd have to say the Solo movie was probably the worst if you're including all of those.
Oh, I like that one a lot.
I did not care for the Solo one. And worst character. Oh man, it would probably have to be a lot of the characters in what was the one Attack of the Clones.
My worst character by far, and
You're gonna say Jar Jar?
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead.
And there's so many internet sites about Star Wars. There was a theory that he was a Sith Lord, and I about wanted to throw up.
That Jar Jar Binks was a Sith Lord?
Correct. And he did it on purpose.
Misa thinking you're wrong.
It's out there, bro. I'm not kidding. It's out there. And I said, he's the Sith Lord. Blech. Next.
Now I have two movies left. Did you do your number one?
Yeah, Star Wars is my number one.
The Wild Bunch.
Great movie. I haven't seen it. I've heard great things about it.
Of course, it's very violent, and the blood is not to where the blood looks like real blood now in today's productions. Right. But it's a great movie. It's a great Western. But okay, of course, I'm a homer, and my number one movie, just because I I feel like I was a part of it, and it's basically what I do with my podcast and my shows is Hoosiers.
You can't go wrong with that movie.
No, you can't. You can't.
You
So,
can't.
I mean, you can. I don't. I can't. I can't count the times that I've watched it. I can't count the times that some people have said that they can't count the times that they've watched it. So, it's
Yeah,
just something that's going to be there. Just because of living through that time period.
right. And you can't. That was Muncie Central and Milan, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're never, ever, ever going to get those matchups again,
never, never.
which is tragic.
Yes, it is.
It's truly tragic.
Yes, it is. Indiana
Because
high school basketball, like we knew it, is gone.
and the reason why I can say that, my senior year, went to Anderson, the original Anderson High School, and we got beat by Daleville. That'll never happen ever again.
Yeah. Was Coach was it Coach Held?
Yep.
Was he there when you were there at Anderson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, my high school has gone kaput and will probably be either a soccer stadium or a old folks home.
Broad High
Sad.
School.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I hear. Well, I mean, there's one high school in Anderson now. There used to be 3.
Yeah, what Anderson, Madison Heights, Highland, and of course Anderson.
Yep.
Yep. Anderson Highland was tough in basketball too.
So Phil Bach, who was the coach of Anderson Madison Heights, sent
Ray Tolbert,
Bobby Wilkerson,
yeah,
Ray Tolbert,
yeah,
Winston Morgan, and Stu Robinson.
Was John Flowers from there too?
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know that one.
Okay.
So
Joe Carney, tell us all what's going on Indy's local flavor. I know I've kind of had you a little monopolized, and how's your mother, by the way, too?
Yeah, my stepmother passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. She was battling Parkinson's, so she's in a very good place now.
Yes.
I just had I do about an episode a week. I did an episode last week with my buddies Dave and Jeff. We talked about music, concert experiences, and collecting records. That was a lot of fun. And the thing that blows my mind, Billy, I just got added, thanks to all my podcast platforms, I just got added into Sweden and Israel.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, yay. So, and you've been a busy guy. I've been watching your videos. You've been a busy guy, and I applaud you for that. You've been doing a lot of stuff.
I have fun doing it. But where can people listen to your show?
You can listen to me on Anchor Podcasts, is where I started. Most of people are finding me on iTunes Podcasts. I'm on Spotify, and I'm on iHeart Podcasts as well.
And the Keeping the Nostalgia Alive show, I think now is on all platforms. We just got released on radio.com also. I know there's so many platforms out there. It's like watching cable TV. There's so many channels that, and you just got to get yourself out there and on there. Joe Carney, it was a pleasure. I think we're not going to tell the people what's going to come next. We're going to surprise them because I think the past couple times we told them what we're going to do, and this time we want to be surprised.
Surprise.
And let us know in the comment section down below if you thought our movies make your top 10, or did we miss something that you want to think that we're totally cuckoo. But we thank you for sharing your time with us. Once again, keepingthenostalgialive.podbean.com, and you can also find us on YouTube at the Keeping the Nostalgia Alive show. You can type that up there in your little search bar, and you can find us on YouTube. Joe Carney, thanks. It's been a pleasure. Have a good evening. Happy Father's Day, the rest of it.
It's been a fun time. Thank you very much.